Hey, I just realized the little swirly pattern that they use on the menu here, it's the same as the swirly pattern you get when you have a job. So it's kind of like saying, this is your objective. Game version 1.05. I haven't been keeping up with the patches. I wonder if they've patched anything big in this. How much ownership do emote people have over their likenesses being used? I believe as part of the Twitch partner contract, they may have the right to use my likeness if they like to. I kind of forget. I know I read it at the time. They've taken a few liberties, but also it's not quite as airtight as a lot of the contracts tend to be. They give you a few options. Watched the whole ending of this game like 4 times. Damn. Well, I'm not to the ending. I'm like just past the beginning. Me and my dirty ladder. And my bridges. There's so much initializing to do when the game starts up. It's like all these things popping up on the menu. Did it get better after the first time? I liked it in the first time. So hard to say.
Weapons restrictions lifted.
What's this? Is it a pea mushroom? Oh yeah, it is. So, does anybody need a plot recap? Because I don't know if I could give you a very good one, but the big thing that I remember that happened last time is we took a ship that got attacked by a new character that I kind of forget the name of. Anybody remember the name of that character? Yeah, Higgs, that's right. Higgs. Okay, I tried to remember when I said it originally. I said he was the Higgs boson. That's how I was going to get it into my head. I have all these little memory tricks I'm trying to do so I can keep this game straight in my head because there's a lot going on. Right, so we did a few more missions last time, got a few more places on the chiral network, eventually worked our way to the port, and then took a ship that was attacked. We fended off the attacker, had another little interface with Fragile, who then provided us with her warp umbrella. I'm not really sure why the umbrella has warp ability attuned to it, because as far as I know, she was like going to pocket dimensions. Everybody has their own beach.
I want GTA Badgers.
Hey, thanks so much, Kafka, for another GTA Badgers. Higgs Boatswain Kappa. No, you haven't missed anything yet, John. We just started up. What are those hologram bunkers exactly? Are there people living in them? I believe they are Bridges facilities, aka the company that Sam works for. And there may be real people working at them somewhere, or they may be entirely run by robots. I'm not entirely sure about that. But we never interact with the people directly. Whenever we talk to them, they're always on the other side of a bunch of walls, and we always speak to the holograms. Which is another thing I wanted to talk about, was the nature of human interaction in this game, which I think is very interesting. All of the instances that Sam has had pretty much since the beginning of the game have evidence that touch, the act of interfacing directly with another person, is somewhat traumatic to Sam and almost never happens. You're always kind of isolated in this game. Despite interacting with lots of people, you almost never see actual people. You only see holograms and demons and goop. And I find that quite interesting, as sort of a microcosm of the concept on a bigger level. All of the individual Sams that we play as across the world that are playing Death Stranding in a meta sense, all of these Sams are working in parallel like threads of a rope. Hence the name, you know, Strand Game, Death Stranding. Not to mention also just like the literal imagery of all the whales and sea life stranded up on the beach. You'll know that whales, dolphins, and such, they'll strand themselves when they no longer want to live. They'll switch environments from sea to beach. And I think there's some definite imagery and metaphor there regarding life and death. I'm not entirely sure where that leaves us. It's like the death concept stranded itself into life, aka the two sides of the ocean. And the fact that there are repatriates, I don't really know where that factors in. I think we're to believe Fragile is a repatriate as well, right? Not only does she have dooms, but she's also able to come back from the dead. But yeah, so we found out that Fragile has her own beach, just like Sam does, and they seem to exist in a pocket dimension. We weren't sure if the beach was actually a real place, or just a figment of his imagination, or a former place he used to go. I mean, I guess it was a former place he used to go, but we didn't know how he got there or anything about it. It just existed in isolation. And so we found out that Fragile can access her beach and use it to sort of translocate. So when it looks like she's zipping in and out of reality, like Tracer, she's actually teleporting to the beach, moving, and then coming back. And so she'll appear in a different place in physical reality as we understand it. Yeah, like King's Cross in Harry Potter. So it's just sort of a trick in a way, when you're on one side of it and don't see the other half. Right, but Sam and Emily have been in the same beach, and he gave her that necklace on the beach, which seems to be very significant as well. And we don't really know about their, you know, specifics still, what it is that brings them to this impasse that they need to figure out their past together. Yeah, they're siblings, but we don't really know what, like, how the past of going through the stranding took place, and how they got separated, and like Sam's past with regard to his family, because it seemed like he was mostly estranged. When we got to meet the mother, she was like, they had issues essentially, and she wasn't really acknowledging them with the same depth that Sam was. He seemed to be pretty steadfast about not wanting to get involved with his family. Right, there's also people who are addicted to delivery. That's the mules. And we'll be passing through their territory quite a bit, I think. There's some right there. Mule territory are these orange rings. So we've got to go back to Lake Knot City and grab our other mission, which is, I think we had to go like over here maybe? So we've got to head back down from this mountain and make a trek back over this way. I'd love to avoid this mule territory if we could. Oh yeah, I wasn't doing like an entire plot synopsis. I was mostly just going over what happened from Chapter 2 to Chapter 3. Oh hey. People are using my path. They're pleased with me. I also got my first exoskeleton. As you can see, I've got like double legs now. So that helps you carry stuff and move more deftly. Are we ever told where mules deliver their packages to? I think they're just picking up lost packages or forcing people to lose their packages and then delivering them into mailboxes.
Verifying ID. Clear. Weapons restricted.
So essentially they're just dropping them off wherever and they get passed off to other people later. Yeah, yeah, we saw the mountain that is climbable. I actually see a building off there. Oh, it's one of those PlayStation moves. I wonder if that's the one we actually visited already. Oh no, we took a boat, so I guess it wouldn't be. Hi, Dudok. We're just getting going, so if you just got here, you're in luck. Descending a mountain, as we often do. That should be fine. Oh. Did not expect there to be a stream right there. Probably should have, by looking at the map, though. It looks like it just comes right out of the mountain. A little awkward. Oh. Cool. Somebody's watchtower? I wonder if... Is that the one I made? No, I don't think so. Oh, there's a vehicle over there. It seems that everyone is in one of three camps on this game. Either they think the gameplay is garbage, no fun, and the story is great, the story and gameplay are fun, or the game is just trash. I like it both. I like both of them. So I guess I'm in the middle category. I'm more interested in the story at the moment than the gameplay, but I like both. Online watchtower. Let's just set up a quick path so I know where I'm headed. So basically just follow this out to the watchtower, and then we can follow the shore. And we want to cut in before we get to the mule camp. So, like, use one of these ladders. Like that to there. Alright, I've kind of made that a little abstract, but... Whoa! Yeah, there's a good deal of suspense to this game, and I really like the way that they've structured the story. It feels somewhat natural that it comes out when it does. Oh. I didn't think I was in one of their zones. Oh, that looks like a tiny lion. That rock right there. Yeah, I see you. You're not gonna come over the river though, are you? Oh, that guy is. Man, I guess wherever you go in this zone, you're bound to run into some of these mules. And this is me trying to give it a big wide berth, and yet here we are. I wanted to cross somewhere? Oh, the camp's right there. How did I not see that on the map? I wonder if I should just hide for a bit. Maybe they'll lose me. Last time I tried this, they just, like, didn't lose me at all. They make creepy sounds. Alright, so that worked. I just hope that as soon as they start moving again, they don't immediately come back. Oh, yeah, no, that is exactly what that does. Alright, well, I guess the only purpose of hiding is for immediate benefits and nothing more. Alright, looks crossable. The yellow flash means that I'm within the mule's territory. You'll see these poles, the yellow poles. Yeah, there's a second one, I think, out there. So I think I just walked outside of their proximity just now. So it just means that they're on alert, that I'm in their area, and they're coming to the location of the last ping. Destroyed. Oh no. Guess I'm not out of their area. Oh. Oh, ow, crap. I lost blood from that? I guess it's safe.
Everything's okay.
I'm surprised he's crying that much, actually. Usually, a fall doesn't result in that much upsetness. Wonder what all the blue strands are going into the city. Alright, this looks annoying. Let's see, can we get closer and then cross over there? Yeah, I definitely took a bit of a different path. I think the entrance was this over here somewhere? I may have to walk up to it and then cross around. Anyway, I'll just follow this left river along the shore. And then we'll cut in. Yeah, I don't really remember what blue means. I'm not sure, have we seen much blue? Other than in the menu? There's a highway. Just assumed in playing that blue equals chiral network, but I don't know the lore of it.
There we go.
I wonder how much of this blackish rock is, like, churned up, broken up tarmac from, like, old roads. Like, it's a very unnatural grouping of rock colors, I think. Looks like basalt. I guess we could snag some ceramics. We're not dealing with the heaviest load at the moment. Where were they meant to be delivered? Just bring them to the city, I guess. Rocks used to be buildings. Oh, like the big piles of rubble here? Man, that building got dusted. Pretty rare do you ever get to see a game where, like, they fully embrace the concept of, like, legitimate Armageddon. The city is not even a, like, the ruins of a city anymore. It's basically been reclaimed at this point. You're not in the right shape. They're very pulverized. Oh yeah, Timefall, I guess, could explain some of that. Wow, seriously? Climbing anchor? I don't really want to climb down across this. Man, this is such a long distance. Maybe I should just embrace the suck. Oh, that's the wrong way. Okay, I want to go exactly the opposite direction. Oh, tiny ladder. I thought it was a military thing people said. Hey, El Kappa Patrol. Oh, an overturned bus. Like and subscribe the ladder. Remember to ring the bell. Dark Souls was just YouTube before YouTube was YouTube. Hike and subscribe. Not bad. Oh, they're like right here. There's no way they would lose me with this bright yellow backpack. No, that's ridiculous. Run! Run, Dr. Stranding. Ah. Surprised it doesn't light the wheat grass on fire. Oh, they're right there. Go away. Yeah, that's right. Your sensor will turn red when I'm around. The consciousness gauge. That could be the sequel. Death Stranding, the consciousness gauge. Give me your medals. You dingus. I'm out. Cargo stolen. Wait, I can't get it back? I guess I should take that. Oh, he's got my ladder. I must have lost it before and then he picked it up. How did I get so much stuff? Yeah, he did actually. He delivered it back to me. What a nice man. You're like a portable airport baggage. Yeah, you should be able to fold Sam down into like a transformer truck. Turn his elbow slash shoulder packages into wheels. And then he could just roll over the finish line. Or like throw in some kind of gyro balancer and have him turn into a full wheel out of packages. Like, say the backpack folds over itself all the way until it meets itself again. And it just roll over the terrain as a pile of packages. Jerry. Yeah, kind of a Katamari, yep. You roll over other packages, integrate them into yourself.
Thank you. Welcome to Lake Knot City. Proceed to distribution center.
Where even is the distribution center? It's like way inside of the city. Oh, it's right here. Can you see much of the cities? The first one you couldn't hardly see any of. You could see like a little bit more of this one. But I don't really know about all of them yet. I've only seen 2.
Contaminating suit. All clear. Welcome, Sam Porter Bridges.
So we'll drop those medals off. Get a little bonus. When are you not considered part of the NLSS crew anymore? I don't know. According to some people, it was well before I stopped being on the show. But I don't know. That's kind of an individual question to ask. Recipient, watermelon picture. Recycle? Is that what I do for materials like ceramics? Hey, thanks so much, Decay Coefficient, for the 500-bit cheer. Get some rock coins in chat, please. Is this what I mean to do, though? Like, if I take all these metals and ceramics, it adds them to the pool? Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's what I was trying to get to. There's still a couple gameplay mechanics I'm not 100% clear on yet regarding some of the specifics on how to handle materials and stuff. Recycle. Dump the metals and ceramics into the auto paver. Yeah, I should get involved in that.
Thank you for your continued support.
So I have a power skeleton now as an option. That's good. Couldn't make those before. Hermetic grenades. I now have an actual defense. And when I get the gun parts. And they can't get damaged. I don't think I need to fabricate anything this time. Once you've... Materials, you can claim them from the city stores. Think of the local storage, basically, right? Gun parts and anti-BT weapons. Yeah, we want that. It's like pretty reasonable load right now. Might actually have some room to pick up a couple things if I want. Got 4 blood bags. Yeah, this is all fine. Might be helpful that I got the power skeleton before I went this one. We'll see how it goes.
Thank you for your contribution.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, right? They actually finally announced a new Half-Life game. And it's in VR, of course.
Beginning scan. Have a pleasant journey.
And we're not calling it Half-Life 3, so they still get to avoid calling it that and not breaking their curse on 3 named games. No peeing here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I was trying to, like, imagine what would it feel like to have an exoskeleton. It looks like it's handling all the joint functions,
Have a pleasant journey.
but it's not actually making contact with the ground. So it's not really displacing the weight so much as it's just reinforcing his joints. What would that feel like?
Weapons restrictions lifted.
Hey, Proper Wolfie. Let's get our directions mapped out. So it looks like we can pretty much just go straight up to this crater and then follow the side. It looks like there's a ladder to cross over here, maybe. We can go to this one. Let's see, remove all... Oops. There's like a little river here. Hopefully there shouldn't be an issue crossing. And then we'll just follow it along here. I mostly didn't even follow mine last time, but it's good to have a guide. They do exist where I work. I used to work. They started testing them. That's crazy. That's some actual legit future stuff. Never got to use one myself, but I saw a dude lift a car chassis with it. That's so weird. That seems like something that is completely still science fiction in my head. I know, it's very GoldenEye, isn't it? It's the satellite dish receiver thing. Freaking Uluru in the distance here. I hope we get to climb the Arctic-looking mountain.
Keep it up. Keep it up.
That one. Probably we will. It seems like such a set piece. Silly pathfindings. Like, just go over this one massive rock. Let's scan it quickly. See yellow. What about over here? Oh, more yellow. I think yellow's still safe, but I don't like it very much. Like, if I trip, maybe it'll carry me. Let's just give it a rush. Grip for balance. Uh-oh, baby's wet. We're good. Ah, no need to use a ladder if we could just walk across it, right? It's not that big a thing. Oh, where's my... There it is. Holy shit, this is pretty, right? Yeah, every time I think about this game when I'm not playing it, I'm like, is it really as nice looking as I imagined it was last time? And then I go back to it, like, yep, still really pretty. And that's even with this, like, really flat-looking shading on the ground. Imagine what a PC could do with this. I really think the PC version of this could be the prettiest game that exists. And to actually model the terrain in such a way that it matters, too. Nobody ever does that. Right? Yeah, it's only in 720. I think it's outputting from 1080, though, so it's getting downscaled. Hey, Octane. I love it. I know this is not a game for everybody, and I'm hesitant to recommend it to a lot of people, but it's a very me thing. What is that? Oh, it's like one of those stone markers somebody else is resting at. Yeah, I freaking am super intrigued by the story of it. I think it may be both superficially interesting and also in a scholarly way perhaps is interesting as well. Like, there might actually be some literal depth to this that is not being addressed by most of the media at this point. I mean, there's obviously a ton of on-the-nose metaphor stuff that's, like, really obvious. But I think there's actually, potentially on a much deeper level, there's stuff happening too. Like academic stuff. With the characterization and the way that this is written. But at its core, it's a game about delivering packages across a somewhat forbidding Martian landscape with the cast of really, really out there characters. So, yeah, if you're coming into this looking for serious gameplay and you want to shoot up aliens, Nah, you got the wrong one. I mean, you do get to shoot up some black goop monsters, but you won't be shooting them for a while.
Keep it up.
Mostly you'll be walking, and sometimes you'll be running. Other times you'll be falling. Sometimes you'll be crawling. Oh. Are you okay? I think we're about to get into some shit in a moment, which you could probably guess because we're also running into a bunch of these chiral crystals. Oh no, I agree, Mirth. It's sort of a false framing thing that happens a lot in the industry. There's this belief that AAA games are a certain way by a lot of people. I don't agree with it, obviously, but it is sort of just colloquially mentioned as there's like this unspoken agreement about gameplay that it's meant to be this certain thing. And we've been training people to believe it for a while with all the damn shooting games. And so you get people that are like immediately put off if they don't get the thing that they expected.
Okay.
Which then feeds this reinforcement cycle where companies want to play into that because they don't want to disappoint people. And it's also safe. And the less risky your game is, the better it might do. Or at least the better you'd be able to accurately track how well it might do. Right, they're all... You're right that they're genre blending, but in a way, they've sort of turned into a gray slurry. I don't mean that derisively either. I mean, I really like having RPG tendencies in most games. I think that's an improvement, personally. But it causes people not to want to be bold in their decision-making process. And so you kind of just learn to expect certain things. And there's not a lot you can expect from Death Stranding. I think there's something really interesting to be said for the psychological element of this game. That you, as the player, are put in this position where you're very frequently just looking at scenery. And what that does to sort of disconnect you from the human world. Right? We're so used to constantly interacting in games, talking to NPCs and, you know, moving it along. You're very rarely accepting a game on its time scale like this. It feels like it's all designed for the player. You know, to be convenient, to be set up as something to move through. Whereas this game is not shy about putting up impediments and obstacles that, yes, they're still meant to be moved through, but they're definitely not convenient. And this is also one of the things that I loved the most about the first Dark Souls. It felt like you had physical placement in the universe. Because you are, for the most part, stuck where you are. I mean, until nearly the end of the game when you get the Lord Vessel. But you're generally, you are the person, you are in the place. You don't have that kind of transience that you can have in a lot of games where it's like, oh, I don't want to be in this map now. If you walk out into this area of the map, this is where you are now. And I find that actually kind of liberating in a way. Or immersive is maybe the way I should say it. In that it lets you kind of identify with the specific feeling that the character might have being so disconnected from a place that maybe they need to be at the moment. You could feel some, it's like, desperation, even. That feeling in Dark Souls when you know, like, I'm stuck in the freaking Tomb of the Giants unless I can figure out a way out. It's kind of a unique feeling. You don't get that too often. It's up to you to figure out how to move on. I think we had no damage. Maybe a little bit eaten into by the rain, but that's just on the cargo container.
Delivering cargo.
Yeah, I chose a very poor word there, Havoc, you're right.
You're not with Fragile Express, are you? Oh, I get it. Bridges is using their IDs to complete the delivery. Well, good work, son. I'll take that off your hands. Package looks...
Perfect?
brand new.
Yeah.
Wow. Been a while since I've seen cargo.
Because I'm the man who
in such good
delivers.
shape. Thank you kindly. I know it couldn't have been easy.
Actually pretty easy this time. Honestly, one of the easiest deliveries I've had in a while. No BTs, pretty easy terrain. Can't complain. Yeah, S for Sawsome. Connection level under 1 star. Can I have my motorcycle back? I left it in the last city.
What's your angle anyway? Everyone knows Fragile was behind the attack that wiped out Middlemont City.
Not everyone knows
Only
that.
damn fool to trust that terrorist to deliver shit now. But here you are, filling in. Keeping her business
There's some
alive for
dissent
forever.
about whether she's bad or not.
I swear. Can't trust anyone these days. You don't try sweet-talking me onto your little network. You know why there's been so many terrorist
Okay.
attacks recently?
One of those guys again.
Because
Hey,
you
Mir.
all pissed them off with your talk of reuniting the country. Join the UCA. I may as well paint a bullseye on my shelter. Just keep my deliveries coming. We'll get along just fine.
Okay.
Don't need any trouble.
Don't need any
Oh,
trouble.
I will say, I appreciate these hematic grenades of yours. Quality work, gotta admit.
Oh good, I'm giving out my blood to
Not
all
the
these
sort of
people.
equipment the UCA ought to keep to itself. There's a lot of freelance porters operating in these parts, after all. If I could churn these out by the boatload and gear up those folks. Now you're good people. I can see that. And you brought my order like I asked. But it'll take more than that for me to agree to what you're asking.
This guy's got a lot of one-sided
Big step.
conversation here.
But if you could prove to me Bridges is an organization I can trust. Well, how about this? Do another run for me.
All
I'll
right.
put the details on the terminal there.
Eminently reasonable.
Good work.
Being
New
skeptical
order available.
is
Please
positive
access
in
delivery
this
terminal
case.
for further information.
Yeah, right? For a recluse, he has a lot to say. There was another guy that we went that was further out, and he's like, yeah, I don't really see people too often anymore, and he kind of, like, forgot how to speak to people properly. Oh, we're going in. Oh, there's definitely going to be BTs involved here. Recovery toolbox. Looks like there's probably some runes. Cargo condition less than 25% damage. Cargo condition collection from a BT area. Alright. Excitement. Let's see what happens.
The toolkit you're looking for ought to be in my old shelter. It's been tagged, so shouldn't have any trouble finding the place. I'll unlock it remotely once you get there. Oh, and take some of those hematic grenades you brought with you.
I have some.
Nothing you'll want more when those BTs put your back against
Why did I
the
give them to
wall,
you
right?
if you're going to give them to me?
Here's hoping it won't come to that.
I know you delivered this package, but keep it. You weirdo. Yeah, no, I guess I have three sets of 5 now, so that should be more than enough. I think 2 sets of 5 is really all you need. Hemetic ones are blood, but the poop grenades are a thing too. I didn't bring any of those. What the fuck are those glasses? Yeah, they're pretty ridiculous, but they're kind of in fitting with the character that I seem to have created. It's such a weird game because, like, it's so hard to recommend this to people because I don't even take issue that most people wouldn't find this entertaining. But I think for the people that do, and that are willing to kind of put in the work, it's a weird thing to say about a game. I feel like it does deliver on that building suspense and expectation. Oh, it's quite close, actually. It's just right over there. What happened to remove... Oh, I guess when you're highlighting your dude, it won't show you that. It's just monster energy drink. You know, there is an angle that we didn't consider or talk about regarding the whole monster thing and how ridiculous it is. And it's actually shocking that this didn't even cross my mind until I was thinking about it late at night. Okay, here we go. But I believe there is a chance that it's just sort of a manifestation of the, like, corporate monopolizing of the post-apocalypse. It's like super, super, super over the top, but it also would make sense if this is like the only thing
Fuck this.
that is taken over since there aren't other things to have. You know what I mean?
There we go.
It would actually make sense in lore. But yeah, I guess it's sort of inescapable that it being what it is. Like, they could have not had it be a sponsor or made up a fake brand. But there's also something to be said of the fact that it is such an over-the-top brand in actual reality. So for it to be so shoved down our throats kind of reinforces the point better than if it was a thing we didn't actually know about. If it was a fictional brand. Elegant pen. Needs that big of a case. Okay. All I'm saying, whether you think it's one thing or another, just be open to the idea that there may actually be a real reason for it, even if I'm gonna end up being completely wrong. Like, I'll be willing to be completely wrong if you're willing for me to potentially be right. Does that make sense? I'm at least leaving the option open that it's more than just for the sake of being an over-the-top marketing deal. And if we get to the end and it is just that, then alright, fair enough, you got me. But I'm just seeing enough themes running through this game now that are starting to make me question if there isn't actually some really good writing happening. And it's just coming across really surreal. Time will tell. Timefall will tell. Devil May Cry. Oh yeah, I think I know this area from one of the gameplay trailers. That looks like an old abandoned mall or something that crumbled. That's wild. Oh, here we go. What do we have? Let's see. Are we giving excuses just because it's Kojima? No, I'm not at all doing that. I actually was not particularly convinced by his prior work that he had the chops to pull off something with meaning. I am not at all a Kojima apologist. I thought we were like balls deep, but actually we're not. Is this like a squeeze between it scene? Alright, the sensor's not flipping out yet, so maybe I'm not as bad as I thought I was. I appreciate that him being hunched over means I don't have to grab my backpack as much. I also fear for his lower back, though. Is it me, or do you feel like they should have had less BT encounters earlier on in the game? Or maybe just in general, just less BTs. I almost wanted it to be the first... And I don't know if they're random, maybe. Maybe I ran into more than you did or something, depending on paths, but... I wanted the first bit of the game, maybe even the first third, to only have a couple. I feel like they should be something exceptional that you run into infrequently that keeps its gravity very high. Because if you get used to it, it really does a lot to defeat the tension then. Oh, is that... I see a strand. Oh, there's some.
Show yourself.
Dun, 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 dun. Can I go this way? Okay. Ideally, we can just, like, not get in a big fight here and just kind of grab the thing and move away. I think we're alright. One of the gameplay section little analysis bits I saw, they said there were actually a ton of different BTs. So it's possible that we're just so early on yet. That, what? The timefall broke the pen? Hey, just Blazy. Alright, well, whatever. Maybe it was very close to being broken when I picked it up. It's above you? Oh. You know what? Props on that. I almost never see rain that actually moves at all.